They're howling out a call for help in Cleveland's dog pound. The offensive line, young and inexperienced, and that's a painful fact for head coach Bud Carson. But one bright spot continues to be the Browns' defense, sparked by AFC sack leader Michael Dean Perry. But quarterback Bernie Kosar is having his own problems trying to stay out of harm's way. Bernie wants to call a timeout on sacks, which may be difficult today. San Diego's front seven plans to add to Kosar's misery. And that brings a smile to the face of Bobby Beathard, who traded his studio seat for a general manager's spot. He's hoping to build success around quarterback Billy Joe Tolliver and bring back the glory days of the San Diego Chargers.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the San Diego Chargers versus the Cleveland Browns.
Welcome to Cleveland Stadium. It's only September 23rd. It is hard to believe, though. Lake Erie has served up a wild day weather-wise. It's cold, and it is windy. There's a chance of rain, and with that temperature, you could see some sleet if it rains. But they love it in the dog pound. All the characters are here and ready to go. It's a sellout crowd here at the stadium today in Cleveland for week number 3. The San Diego Chargers and the Cleveland Browns. Good afternoon. Welcome to Cleveland. I'm Jim Donovan as we get set to see if the San Diego Chargers can win their first game of the season or if the Cleveland Browns can go to 2-1. They lost last week against the Jets. Now, San Diego has picked a very tough place to try and win in. This guy can tell you that for sure. Cris Collingsworth joins me. We ordered this weather up for you, but I'll tell you this. You came in here with the Bengals for 8 years. You know this is a tough place for a visiting team to try and come in and win.
You know, I almost think now that Art Modell can push a button and make this kind of weather out here. It's absolutely incredible. September, and it's freezing cold here. But the San Diego Chargers, I think, will handle it just fine. Don't be surprised to see the Chargers. I know they're 0-2, but they're going to play a very competitive football game out here today. They're better than they look.
They have a tremendous pass rush. That's a big problem for Cleveland. They haven't been able to protect Bernie Kosar at all. He's been sacked 10 times already on the season. What can they do to give him some time to throw the ball?
Well, it's going to be a big test of his courage today. He's going to have to hang in there, no question about it. This offensive line has not only given up 10 sacks on the year, but they've also allowed about 40 to 50 pressures. Bernie Kosar has been hit continually during this football season, and it's going to be a real test of his courage today to see if he'll hang in there.
So we're all set to go here in Cleveland. Dan Henning starting his second season as head coach of the Chargers. Bud Carson is the same way on the Cleveland sideline. He's starting his second season. He took his team all the way to the AFC Championship game last year. The Browns have won the toss, and they will receive, which is a story in itself, because with Eric Metcalf around, you have to get to the stadium on time. Fouad Revez will kick it away for San Diego. The Metcalf story and the Revez story, here's a guy that's kicking for his career today. He's been having a tough start so far. If he has a bad day here in Cleveland, Cris, he could be out of employment after today's game.
I talked to him on the field before the game, and I said, are you a little bit nervous about the fact that your coaching staff has basically said, if you don't kick well, you're gone? He said, it's only the second game of the season. They're already threatening me on my job. He says, I know I'm the best. I'll get the job done today.
Now, Metcalf took the opening kickoff 98 yards last week against the Jets all the way for a touchdown. He's a yard deep, and here he comes. Out to the 22-yard line. That's where Cleveland starts 1st and 10. Now, it used to be that you could be anonymous if you were an offensive lineman, just guys with 60s and 70s on their jersey. But around Cleveland, public enemy number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, those guys, the offensive line, under a lot of heat. Kosar with Leroy Hort injured for the injured Kevin Mack. Hort in there for the injured Mack. Metcalf, Slaughter, Langhorne, and Newsom. In passing situations, here's what happens. Brennan comes in along with Vernon joins as they go with a 4 wide receiver set. And right off the start, we have a flag on the first play for the Browns. And the offensive line is tagged with a 5-yard penalty right off the tip.
Yeah, but I don't think that was the offensive line there. They were anxious. They were ready to go out there, and I think it was on a quick count, and the center just didn't snap the football.
So instead of at the 22, 1st and 10, it's 1st and 15 back at the 17-yard line. Leroy Hort is the only back in the backfield right now. Hort gets it.
run out to the 28-yard line. Leroy Horde, the rookie out of Michigan, with a good first-yard run. Here's the front seven. Boy, they can get to the passer, but they are missing Billy Ray Smith, the linebacker. He's out on the injured reserve for 4 weeks with a stomach muscle pull, so Henry Rowling gets the start there. In passing situations, here's what happened. Phillips, Sayal, and Plummer come out of there, and they bring in Hinkle, Donald Frank, and Lester Lyles to go with this secondary, and we'll show you that in just a second. It's second down now for the Browns. This is Metcalf. Loose football. The Chargers say they have recovered it. Metcalf fumbles. San Diego ball.
They are not too happy with Eric Metcalf here in Cleveland. I took my life in my own hands and went down to the dog pound. They think he's running scared. Take a look right here. He's not putting his head down, not going in there, hitting the hole hard. Just got it slapped out of his hand right there. Eric Metcalf is not on the good side of the fans, at least down in the dog pound.
There's Metcalf. Bert Grossman knocked the ball away. The Chargers scoop it up, and Billy Joe Tolliver settles them in. 1st and 10. Carabello in motion. They're deep in Cleveland territory. Marion Butts inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Thane Gash and Felix Wright on the tackle. The Charger offense looks like this. They are also trying to build an offensive line with a lot of young players like Frank Cornish getting the start at center. They'll have to battle that tough Cleveland front seven. Tolliver with Caravello and Marion Butts. He carries the ball an awful lot. Walter Wilson, a rookie, gets the start at wide receiver. Then in passing situations, here's what they do. They bring in McEwen, Ronnie Harmon, a Plan B free agent from Buffalo, and Quinn Early. Second down. 6 yards to go for a first down, just inside the Browns' 25 after a Metcalf fumble. Tolliver's got McEwen open, and he drops it at the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at that Cleveland defense now for you and set it up. Front four, Michael Dean Perry, simply unblockable. He is that good. He has 4 sacks on the season. The Browns linebackers in secondary, they have new corners. Blaylock's young. Claiborne's a veteran of 13 years with the New England Patriots. In passing situations, those linebackers come out. The Browns bring in Grayson Rose and Stephen Braggs. It is 3rd down and 7. Walter Wilson in motion. A big rush by Michael Dean Perry. And Ronnie Harmon cannot come up with the ball. So Billy Joe Tolliver comes off the field. And now here comes Fuad Revez with the pressure on him. Make field goals or you're out of here. Quite simply, that's it. It's a spot at the 32-yard line. It's a 42-yard field goal attempt. He was pushing them left in practice. Down the heart.
Attaboy. You're always happy to see that. You really are. A lot of pressure on that kid, and he comes through.
Revez kicks the field goal. San Diego turns a fumble into early points. We'll be back. Jim Donovan and Cris Collingsworth back with you at Cleveland Stadium. Fuad Revez connects on his first field goal attempt of this afternoon. 42 yards after an Eric Metcalf Cleveland fumble. And San Diego turns it into 3 points. Metcalf off to a tough start here this afternoon in front of the home folks. Back to Revez just for a second. Waiting in the wings for San Diego is a kicker by the name of John Carney. Now, Carney battled Revez during training camp. Carney signed this week with the Los Angeles Rams just to kick off. And the Rams have told him that if a full-time kicking job comes up to kick field goals and kick off, he would be able to leave. He's waiting for a call from San Diego. He would jump over to the Chargers, it appears, if Revez slips, but he didn't slip. He nailed that one, Cris.
Absolutely. And there cannot be a tougher place to kick the football than here in Cleveland Stadium. The wind's swirling around here, and the grass is not that good.
They had to tee it up for Revez. Metcalf gets a second chance now to make amends after the fumble. No room at all, and he's tackled on the play by Donald Frank.
You know, in the National Football League, if the other players begin to think that you're a little bit nervous out there, that you're a little bit scared, it's like sharks with blood. They're going to come after you. And right now, Eric Metcalf is getting a reputation in this league that he's a little bit scared out there, and he needs to take care of that right now.
Leroy Ford is in the backfield. Metcalf is in a slot now, and the Browns have 3 wide receivers. That's 1st and 10, and they don't have great field position. Out over their own 15. Ford runs hard, another loose ball, but Cleveland hops on that one. Metcalf recovers a fumble by Horde, and the Browns' backs are just having trouble holding on to the football. There's that San Diego defense, and Chris, how has it been built with #1 picks?
I really like this defensive unit. I think this is going to be a team of the 90s right here. One of the best defensive teams in all the National Football League. Really resembles some of the better teams in the NFC, a conference more known for its defense.
2nd down and 6. Flares it out to Horde. But Leslie O'Neal chases him down as the Chargers have a lot of people out there chasing, and there's a short gain by Horde.
Coming up is exactly what we talked about. This team defensively is made up of #1 draft choices. 6 #1 draft picks on this defense, and they're all very, very talented and playing very well.
Kozar should really feel the heat right now on 3rd down and 7. Remember, that Charger defense is missing a little bit of its bite, maybe a lot of its bite today, with Billy Ray Smith, their great linebacker, out on the injured reserve for 4 weeks. 3rd down 7 and a shotgun. Ryan Brennan in motion. He had good time. He throws and it's incomplete. Webster Slaughter says he caught it, but the official said it hit the ground and it's a trap.
Slaughter ruled incomplete.
Let's take a look here. Webster Slaughter one-on-one with Sammy Seal. Going to turn around. Ooh, awfully close. Awfully close.
I think they're going to take a look at it on replay.
Let's see if he got those hands underneath the football. I don't know.
What are you saying that you just can't make a call on that?
I just don't know. You don't know. His hands were underneath the football. Definitely his hands were underneath the football. The question is there a gap between the arms in which he trapped the football against his chest?
That looks like a catch.
See how his elbows are sticking out there? Was there a gap between his elbows and the ground? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they're going to overturn this call. I don't think this is conclusive.
Mark Burns is the replay official. Once they decide to take a look at one this year, they have a 2-minute time limit.
After further review, the play will stand as called. It's 4th down.
So Bud Carson looking down, and he does not get the turnaround on the call there, and it's 4th down. And Brian Wagner will punt it away to a new player for the Chargers, Scott Schwades, who was picked up from the Miami Dolphins. Schwades is out of Syracuse. Low punt. Stephon Adams is down there along with Stephen Braggs for Cleveland, and they'll touch it down at the 44-yard line after a 37-yard punt by Brian Wagner. San Diego leading 3-0 here in the first quarter in Cleveland. Windy and cold at Cleveland Stadium. San Diego leads 3-0 on a 42-yard field goal by Fouad Reves. And they get their second crack at the football starting out over their own 40 at the 44-yard line. McEwen in motion. Marion Butts. Boy, look at him lean on that pack and push it out over midfield into Browns territory at the 49-yard line. He just really barreled into Chris Pike, the nose tackle, and pushed him back. Butts is a good back. Our first look at the scoreboard today. No score from the Meadowlands. Kevin Butler has the Bears ahead of Minnesota 3-0. Chicago comes in undefeated. Cincinnati on a Jim Breach field goal leads over New England 3-0. Phoenix and New Orleans scoreless. Phoenix coming off that big come-from-behind victory against the Eagles last week. And here in Cleveland, the Chargers lead 3-0, looking for their first win of the season. 2nd down and 4. Back to Butts again, near a first down. He has to get to the 46 of Cleveland. Tackled by Mike Johnson, the team leader in tackles. And Ken Rose is in there too.
The tackle by Mike Johnson and Eddie Johnson.
This is exactly what I was talking about with the San Diego Chargers offense. Really, they almost remind me of the old Cleveland Browns offense with Biner and Mack. They're going to play power football with Marion Butts right up the middle, and right now it's being very, very effective out there.
Third down and 1. Butts gets the call and a first down. As he goes inside the Cleveland 45 down to the 42-yard line, Mike Johnson, Ken Rose on the tackle once again, and San Diego gets a first down. Don't say that too loud around here. Mack and Biner, I think people miss that attack here, the way the Browns offense is sputtering right now. Marion Butts over 100 yards rushing last week. What a pleasant surprise he has been here. Second year in the NFL for Butts. First and 10 at the Cleveland 43-yard line. That's Butts going out in motion. Tolliver needs a timeout. He was trying to change the play, and he wasn't sure everybody was going to get it, and time was running down on him. So San Diego burns up a timeout as Dan Henning will talk to his young quarterback, Billy Joe Tolliver. We'll be back to Cleveland. 9:20 to go here in the first quarter, and the Chargers lead 3-0 over the Browns.
You're looking at one of the very best defensive linemen in the entire National Football League, Michael Dean Perry. We talked with left guard Courtney Hall of the Chargers yesterday, and we asked him, what do you plan to do about Michael Dean Perry? And he said, well, we've already set up an all-night prayer vigil, so maybe that'll help us just a little bit.
First and 10 San Diego after they call the timeout. They lead 3-0 here in the first quarter. 9 minutes and 20 seconds left in quarter number 1. Tolliver to pass. Intercepted by Mike Johnson. Touchdown. Terrible throw by Tolliver. Where was he throwing that football as Johnson picked it off and took it 64 yards?
Who needs an offense for the Cleveland Browns? They don't need an offense. Their defense is now on par with scoring points with their offense. Mike Johnson, that ball was thrown right to him. I have no idea what Billy Joe Tolliver was doing on that play. Just threw it right to him.
Mike Johnson, the holdout, returns to the lineup on the opening week and scores here. Corrick's kick is good, and Cleveland's defense says, heck, if the offense isn't going to do it, we'll do it.
Let's take a look at this play right there. Mike Johnson, number 59, right in the middle of your screen. Watch Billy Joe Tolliver. Looks like he's going to throw deep, pumps, then throws it right to Mike Johnson. Absolutely no explanation for that whatsoever. He just got rattled and made a horrible throw. Just a horrible throw. There's Billy Joe Tolliver after he threw it. Just wanted to go bury himself in a hole, I guess.
You bet. He didn't even want to look. Yeah. Chris, I think, he almost could have run. It was that wide open. Tolliver could have taken off and run with it. Well, those are the kind of mistakes that Tolliver has made early in his career. He made a mistake like that against Cincinnati last week when his team was driving for a touchdown.
I asked him how he felt about playing here in Cleveland Stadium for the first time down on the field before the ball game. He said, oh, it's no big deal. It's just another stadium. Well, I think he's beginning to find out this isn't just another stadium. The dog pound and these fans here can make it awfully tough on an opposing quarterback.
So Mike Johnson intercepts and goes 64 yards for a touchdown, and Cleveland leads 7-3. Nate Lewis and Anthony Miller will accept the Brian Wagner kick. Lewis from inside his 10. Tackled on the play by Derek Gainer. And it will be first down for San Diego over their own 25 at the 27-yard line. Billy Joe Tolliver comes back out. Is he rattled now after a play like that, Chris?
We'll find out. I don't know. And I don't know why the San Diego Chargers are trying to throw the football. They were so effective with Marion Butts running the ball, and then all of a sudden they go to this passing game. With the Cleveland Browns and the problems they're having on offense, all the Chargers offense has to do is not beat themselves in this ball game, and so far that's exactly what they're doing.
With the dog pound roaring at his back, Tolliver sets up. Marion Butts is corralled by Michael Dean Perry. And Michael Dean Perry, I said when we showed you the lineups, he's unblockable.
Let's take a look at Michael Dean, number 92, right in the middle of your screen. A little game on the inside. It's unbelievable that a guy that big can have that kind of athletic ability.
Second down and 10. The ball is on the 28-yard line. Michael Dean with his helmet right over that center's helmet this time. He lines up in different positions, really. Big rush. That's McEwen. And he's out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. We go to New York right now for the first time today. Let's check in with Bob Costas at NFL Live.
Johnson and Al Baker.
All right, Jim, elsewhere in Ohio, the Bengals jump in front of the Patriots 10-0. Here's Boomer Esiason with all the time in the world to find his favorite target of late, Eddie Brown. Nice running catch. The Bengals, who had to come from behind to win on the season's first 2 weeks, jump out early, 10-0 on the Pats.
Thanks, Bob. 7-3 here in Cleveland. It's a sellout crowd, and they were just treated to a real Cleveland Browns play. Defense, Mike Johnson picked off a Billy Joe Tolliver pass and went 64 yards with it for a touchdown. Third down 1 for San Diego. Ronnie Harmon and a first down over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Tackled by Ken Rose, who's been coming in on third down. He's been making a lot of tackles so far. Rose got burned last week on his return. He was a Plan B free agent brought over from the Jets, and he was beaten down the sideline on a long pass play. Went for an interception and came up with air, and it led to a Jets touchdown.
That was the counter OT play that San Diego runs so effectively. They ran the same thing in Washington. Of course, that's where Dan Henning spent so many years. That was the play, though, that Felix Wright said the Cleveland Browns had to stop to win this ball game.
First down, San Diego. 6:48 to go here in the first quarter. Tolliver got a lot of time. He's throwing for Lewis. Incomplete. Lewis is saying that Felix Wright grabbed him down at the 15-yard line, but there's no flag.
Let's take a look, see if there's any interference on this play. Felix Wright just looking up for the ball. That kind of call will not be made in the National Football League this year.
What do you think? Do you think it should be? You're a guy on the other end.
Well, when I was playing, yes, I thought all of those should have been called pass interference, but that definitely was not.
Second down and 10. We'll have to check on Anthony Miller. Miller was dinged up on that interception by Tolliver. He left the game, and he has not been back in the Charger lineup. Tolliver gets a lot of time. And again to the near sideline. He connects with McEwen, and it's complete. So Billy Joe has rallied back after throwing the interception. Thane Gash in on the tackle for Cleveland.
Well, Billy Joe Tolliver has bounced back, and that's exactly what they like about this young man, is that he does not get rattled. He can make some horrible plays out there, but it doesn't make him upset. And his ability to bounce back, and what he's doing right now, talking in the huddle, is the reason that Billy Joe Tolliver is the starting quarterback. He's such a dynamic leader for this offense.
And he's faced with 3rd and 4 at his own 47-yard line. Almost picked it off again. Tolliver got a huge rush from Bob Bukowski and Van Waiters. And listen to the Cleveland crowd, to their defense, salutes them.
Billy Joe Tolliver once again gets good protection initially, then gets flushed out of the pocket by Al Bubba Baker. But Billy Joe cannot continue to throw the football like that down the field when he's in trouble. The Cleveland Browns will kill you in that situation.
John Kidd, a Plan B free agent signed by the Chargers, a good punter from Buffalo. Kicks it away to Leo Lewis. Lewis scatters out over the 20 to the 22-yard line. A 36-yard punt. And we'll be back to Cleveland. The Browns lead here, 7-3. Jim Donovan and Cris Collingsworth back with you at Cleveland Stadium. The Browns lead 7-3. Their defense, a big play. Mike Johnson, a 64-yard pass interception for a touchdown. Kozar in trouble, throwing. Reggie Langhorne. And a first down out to the Cleveland 35-yard line. Tackled by the linebacker, Gary Plummer.
I talked with George Sefcik, who's the running back coach before this ball game, and he said the number one thing they wanted to do early in this football game was get Bernie Kosar a couple of completions and not get him hit. Quick passes, get it out of there, let him get settled in the pocket a little bit, and that's exactly what they've done so far.
So it's a first down for Cleveland at their own 35. 4:55 left here in the first quarter as Ozzie Newsome in motion. Another quick pass. And Newsome could not come down with it. Now, once again, did he have to throw the ball a little quicker than he normally would there?
Well, that's what's been happening to this Cleveland Brown offense. They've been having to make the throws quicker than they wanted. Here we're going to take a look at Lee Williams, who is one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. He's had 57 sacks the past 5 years, which is the best in the entire AFC. But once again, they made Bernie Kosar throw the football before he wanted to.
So those new guards for the Browns, Jefferson and Robbins, are getting a baptism of fire here in the early moments against this Charger front seven. 2nd and 10. Good time there, but he sails it over the head of Slaughter. So Slaughter has been troubled with tendinitis so far at the start of the season, but he told me Friday, boy, I am really anxious to start getting the football.
Now Webster Slaughter looking to put the star back in Webstar. Lee Williams, once again, you can see the kind of respect that he gets. There are going to be about 2 or 3 different Cleveland Browns offensive linemen that are going to get their hands on him. And they do a good job right there. This offensive line for the Cleveland Browns, all we heard all week long was how bad they were. Right now, they're doing the job.
But they don't like this situation. 3rd down and 10. Chargers coming with a lot of people, and Kosar throws it over the head of Slaughter. And the crowd starts to get irritated and anxious with this Browns offense. And so does that man.
The crowd is booing Bernie Kosar in this situation, and I think justifiably so. Bernie has had the time so far out there today, but he's still rushing his throws a little bit. I think a little bit of a product of what happened to him the first 2 weeks when he got hit like 50 times during those ball games.
Brian Wagner will punt. Scott Schwades is back deep for San Diego. Good high punt by Wagner. There's a flag down. Schwades out to his own 34-yard line, but there's a penalty down on a 41-yard punt by Wagner.
The tackle by Keith Bosnick and Ralph Taft.
Holding on San Diego is the preliminary call as Billy Joe Tolliver leaves the sidelines. Dan Henning looking out. Henning was very relaxed last night when he was sitting around there. He feels he's got time to build this team, especially with Bobby Beathard now in place as general manager of the team. Beathard told me down there with a real sigh, he says, boy, I hope we start winning.
Yeah, but I really think, I told you this last night and everybody kind of laughed at me because this team is 0-2, but I really think the San Diego Chargers.
Number 15, holding, previous spot, post possession, first down.
I really think that the job this man, Bobby Beathard, is doing is exactly right on the money. The San Diego Chargers, to me, remind me of an NFC team. They've got good, power-running, big guys with Marion Butts in the backfield. They've got a young, inexperienced quarterback, which is a problem, but their defense is second to none in the AFC.
The dog pound getting their vocal cords all exercised here this afternoon. San Diego with those penalties on that punt starts at their own 15. Marion Butts. Not much out to the 17-yard line. Clay Matthews in on the tackle. Dan Henning last night told us, Chris, that this guy, Clay Matthews, is the best around. And he has not faded at all because he's been up there now. He's played a lot of years, 13 years out of Southern Cal.
Played in his 5th Pro Bowl last year. Tiger Johnson from the Cincinnati Bengals coaching staff told me last year Clay Matthews played better than any outside linebacker in the National Football League, and that's going a long way.
Second down and 8. Tolliver throws one right into the teeth of the Browns secondary, and Felix Wright almost picks off Billy Joe. Clay Matthews really in there on the rush on Tolliver as he had a lot of heat.
Here's the guy we were just talking about, Clay Matthews, and he loves getting after quarterbacks, and especially young ones. Ooh. Right there.
Wow.
The shot of the day. It's not a late hit. Clay Matthews gets away with it, and that sends a message. That's like a high-tide fastball right there. Baby, I'm coming back to see you later on.
You know what Matthews told me before the game? He said, you know, I should have played baseball. I love baseball. The way he plays football, though, can you imagine if he thinks he should have played baseball, what kind of player he would be? 3rd and 8. A lot of time, and a good catch by Ronnie Harmon. Raymond Claiborne makes the tackle. Harmon ends up with a first down. Ronnie Harmon has to have a bad memory from his days with the Bills right here at this stadium in the playoff game last year in January. He dropped the apparent touchdown pass from Jim Kelly. That sealed his fate in Buffalo, but he's done well here in San Diego.
What an addition, though, he's been for this ball club. You know, they go with the big backs back there, Marion Butts, and try and make something happen with power football. But then when you've got a guy like Ronnie Harmon who can come in and make a big play like that for you on 3rd down, it's just so important. 1st and 10.
Browns lead 7-3. 2:56 to go in the first quarter. Marion Butts right into the arms of Michael Dean Perry. Michael Dean Perry just put the hooks on Marion Butts. That's going to be a good matchup all day.
Already 4 sacks on the year for Michael Dean, but probably the thing that most people don't know about is his ability to play the run. He really anchors the inside, and there's that big Marion Butts, about 250 pounds worth, and Michael Dean makes him go backwards.
Michael Dean Perry looks like a fullback, doesn't he, with all those Browns big defensive linemen around him? He uses that upper body to roll so much. And that's where he gets his power. 2nd down and 10. Almost intercepted by Stephen Braggs as Tolliver is throwing them. He would have to have pinpoint accuracy to try and squeeze in some of these balls that he's trying to throw to players. As Craig McEwen was there, but so was Stephen Braggs.
Let me tell you something. I really feel sorry for Billy Joe Tolliver right now. Down the field, there was nobody open. Absolutely nobody open. These defensive backs that are playing out here right now are going to make people forget about Frank Minifield and hand predictions.
3rd and 10 now for San Diego. Anthony Miller is back in the game now. 3 wide receivers in for the Chargers. Tolliver throwing for McEwen, and he got tied up with Ken Rose, who the linebacker out covering him, and it's 4th down, and the Cleveland defense holds again.
You think they love defensive football here?
Yes, they do.
It's absolutely incredible. It's like a cult thing around here. The way they cheer this defense and the way this defense has played over the years, the dog pound, they love it.
There's John Kidd punting to that man, Leo Lewis. Standing back at his 30-yard line. We have 2:01 left here in the first quarter. And it's 7-3 Cleveland. Big rush. But Kidd got it away in a good punt. Fumble by Lewis. He'll get it back at the 23-yard line. 47-yard punt by John Kidd with a heavy Cleveland rush on. The Giants lead on a Raul Allegre field goal in the Meadowlands. Chicago 3-0 over Minnesota. 17-0 Cincinnati. They scored on a fake field goal. Lee Johnson throws a touchdown pass to Rodney Holman, and it's 17-0 Bengals. No scores in those two games. And here in Cleveland, it is 7-3. The Browns lead over the San Diego Chargers. Cleveland's offense has been silent again. Their defense scored for them. Derek Gainer in motion. Leroy Horde gets the ball. Short gain for him. Leroy Horde goes out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. Horde, not known as a great practice player, Chris.
Yeah, we talked to him. Of course, he was the most valuable player in the Rose Bowl last year, and we asked him about Bo Schembechler. He said that he always knew when he was playing well that Bo Schembechler never said a word to him, and that was the highest praise of all.
2nd down 6. Gainer and Horde, I formation. Flag is down as Horde goes out to the 31-yard line. And we'll check out the penalty situation. But Horde is not known as a real driver in practice. And that was the case in Michigan, too. But he loves games. In particular, he loves big games.
And he likes money.
But he's given away a lot of money because he's not been a good practice player. He's one of the most fined rookies around.
Offsides. 99 on the defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. 2nd down.
Lee Williams tagged with the offside penalty, giving Cleveland 5 yards, and it now becomes 2nd and 1.
Right now we've got the backfield of the future in there for the Cleveland Browns. They're playing Leroy Horde and Derek Gainer, and Eric Metcalf is out of the lineup. And I totally agree with this backfield. I think this is the best they've got.
We'll see if Kozar plays with this down, 2nd down and 1. Horde is nailed in the backfield as Martin Bayless comes up from the secondary to make the stop on Horde. And so Cleveland doesn't play with the down. In fact, when they did play with it, they played very poorly with it, and it becomes 3rd down now and 1. And even a little bit more than 1. He lost about a half yard.
That's exactly what Martin Bayless, the strong safety for the San Diego Chargers, does best. He's outstanding against the run, but he's only had 1 interception in the past 3 years for this Chargers in the secondary.
Closing seconds of the first quarter. 3rd down, a little bit more than 1 now for Kozar and the Browns. Reggie Langhorne in motion. Big rush, he gets away. Great catch by Newsome for a 1st down. Well, the Wizard of Oz can still go out and get him. And that's the end of the first quarter. So from Cleveland Stadium, 53 degrees after 1, it's 7-3 Browns. It's a sellout crowd here at Cleveland Stadium on Sunday number 3 around the NFL. The Cleveland Browns leading 7-3 over San Diego tonight on NBC. 2 world premiere movies. First, 7 of your favorite TV comedy stars go off to Camp Cucamonga. Then Veronica Hamill, Judd Hirsch, and Lee Grant starring She Said No, a powerful film that the critics have really praised. So it's Camp Cucamonga and She Said No tonight here on NBC. Cleveland got a 1st down on a nice catch by Ozzie Newsome, their tight end. And they're at their own 39-yard line, leading 7-3 after 1. Kozar in trouble, throws, and it's intercepted by Sammy Seal. Seal back to his 40-yard line. And And the Browns turn it over for the second time. That's Kozar's first interception of the season.
You know, the worst thing that's happened out here today is that both teams have had to send their offense on the field.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
The San Diego Chargers get a turnover and a field goal out of it. Then the Chargers offense turns right around, throws an interception for a score. The defense have created all the points out here this afternoon. Really, these two teams should be trying to not beat themselves with their offense and win the game with the defense. And if they'll do that, one of these teams will end up winning this game.
40-yard line, 1st and 10 after the Seal interception. Walter Wilson in motion out of the backfield. Tolliver rushed by Robert Banks, and he throws to nobody. Out of bounds. Tony Blaylock was the only one in the vicinity, and he's a member of the Browns. Billy Joe looking down there, down the field. Obviously something happened on the pattern, Chris.
Yeah, what happened? Right now, we're going to take a look at Billy Joe Tolliver's stats. There's a big day for you. 3 for 12, 26 yards, and 1 interception for a touchdown. Hand the football off, get the running game going, punt it if you have to, take advantage of the field position, and rely on these two defenses. That's the way they need to be playing.
Rod Bernstein is in the backfield, now heads out in motion. 2nd down and 10. Tolliver going long for Anthony Miller. Incomplete. Down at the Cleveland 20-yard line. Good coverage on the play there by the Browns' Raymond Claiborne, who just went right into the dog pound to say hello.
Here's Raymond Claiborne, the newest of the dogs, and probably the reason that Frank Minifield is no longer on this Cleveland Browns team. He was a Plan B free agent from New England. He signed for $900,000. The man is 35 years old, still playing very effectively in the NFL. But Frank Minifield said, if you're going to pay him $900 grand, I want somewhere close to that, and he's just not getting it.
Well, that was the source of all of those holdouts. Matthews, Mike Johnson, Felix Wright, and Minifield, too. It's 3rd down and 10 for Tolliver. Ronnie Harmon. Felix Wright makes a nice shoestring tackle of Harmon, and San Diego must punt.
But that's all right. The offense did well here. They didn't turn the ball over. Really, that's a successful series right there, because now they're going to get to punt the football down here, back up the Cleveland Browns, rely on their defense, hopefully get it back in good field position, and get some points on the board. That's the way this game is going to go. That's the way the games always go when you play the Cleveland Browns.
Come on, baby!
John Kidd waits for the snap. Leo Lewis takes it at his own 19.
Look out.
Good run back. Cleveland will start after a 38-yard punt at their own 39-yard line. And we'll be back to Cleveland Stadium. It's 7-3 Browns in the second quarter. Cleveland has it 1st and 10. They're at their own 37-yard line. The question right now is there an offense in the house? Both teams have struggled when they've had the ball. Kozar rushed and sacked. At the 35-yard line, Leslie O'Neal, Lee Williams, and Bert Grossman. They're all there.
As they have been all season long. This is absolutely one of the best defensive lines going. We talked to Mike Babb yesterday, and he said that they're all having nightmares about facing this defensive line, and this is exactly what they wanted to do. We talked to Leslie O'Neal, and they said they want to put pressure on Bernie Kozar right up the middle. You see Mike Babb there doing his best John Belushi imitation.
2nd down and 12. They only lost 2 after the sack. The 11th time Kozar's been sacked this year. And he'll go down for the 12th time. And that is Leslie O'Neal's sack. And Cleveland's going backwards right now.
Leslie O'Neal, Pro Bowl player from last year. Bernie got back, got his feet set, and that was it. I mean, that simply is not enough time to throw the football. And this is not what the Cleveland Browns wanted to have happen. They wanted a game in which their offensive line looked good. They were going to try and make quick throws and not let Bernie Kosar get sacked. Well, there's 2 in a row.
Vernon joins Brian Brennan check in. 3rd down and 18. Pressure again. Almost intercepted by Vincey Glenn. They say he trapped it at the 49-yard line. So Kosar had a bad series that time, sacked twice, and then almost throws an interception.
Right there you saw the effect of the pressure the previous 2 plays. Bernie had plenty of time, nobody around him here. Just rushed that throw a little bit, right over Reggie Langhorne. I tell you, these 2 offenses are dying out here. Absolutely dying. These defenses are pretty good, but I don't think they're as good as they're looking out there right now. These offenses absolutely inept so far.
Why are they not running the football?
You got me.
I mean, really, both teams are struggling passing. They can't protect the passers. Billy Joe Tolliver has been throwing right into the Browns secondary all the time. It's amazing that both teams do not run the football as Wagner punts again for Cleveland. 4th down and 18. Off the side of his foot. And San Diego should have good field position out at their 35-yard line. Now Kosar's struggling, and there's the backup quarterback, Mike Pagel. He's warming up, but he told me yesterday, I'm only going in when I put my helmet on. We'll be right back.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by today's truck, Chevrolet. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. Fly the friendly skies. And by Liberty Mutual. For your insurance and financial service needs, America believes in Liberty Mutual.
12:06 to go, first half. San Diego starts. Good field position near their 35. And right through the hands of Joe Caravello. I don't think you can blame Billy Joe Tolliver on that one. Caravello had to go right through his hands at the 40-yard line.
Well, Caravello was a nose tackle in college, and he caught the ball like a nose tackle right there.
Caught his first career touchdown pass last week against the Bengals.
A lot of wind whipping around out here, but Joe Caravello, whoops.
I mean, does that play havoc, that wind in particular down on this field?
You've got to stick your hands close enough together to catch it first.
Rod Bernstein, the runner. And a good run, too, and a first down out near midfield. He's at the San Diego 47-yard line. Let's check in on the scores right now. The tackle made by Van Waiters on Bernstein. Giants still holding the field goal lead. Green Bay scores on a Jackie field goal. Butler has the Bears ahead of Minnesota 6-3. Cincinnati leading 17-0, and Washington and Dallas are tied in the second quarter. Still no scores from those games. And here in Cleveland, it is 7-3. The Browns lead. A defensive touchdown. Mike Johnson, a 64-yard pass interception for a touchdown. San Diego has a 42-yard field goal from Fuad Revez. Good play by Michael Dean Perry as he wraps up Bernstein. Bernstein thrown for a loss, and Michael Dean Perry first on him once again.
Michael Dean Perry is just too much of a man for this San Diego Chargers offensive line. We told you earlier that Courtney Hall had set up a prayer vigil, and probably justifiably so, because Michael Dean Perry is making this San Diego Charger offensive line look awfully bad right now.
It's a loss of 3, making it 2nd down and 13. The ball is at the 44-yard line. Now Bernstein goes out in motion. There's a tight end coming out of Texas A&M. Oliver throws in traffic again, but this time McEwen pulls it away from Mike Johnson and has it inside Cleveland territory at the 49.
Good. I like what the San Diego Chargers are doing right now. They're trying to run the football, but when they're throwing it short and quick and moving the ball down the field. They've crossed midfield now. They've got a little something going on offense. Look for Ronnie Harmon right now. Ronnie Harmon's the guy coming out of the backfield that has been so effective for the Chargers in this situation.
3rd down and 6 at the 49. Gain of 7 on that last pass play. It's McEwen, and a first down to the Cleveland 40-yard line. Ken Rose on the tackle for the Browns. Well, they do look like they have a little flow going now, Chris.
Good. Now they're back in sync. You know, this defense, or this offense last week against the Cincinnati Bengals outgained a very good Cincinnati Bengals offense, 417 yards for the San Diego Chargers last week. So they can play offense. It's just a matter of them getting back to their game plan. Power running and short passing.
9 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the first half. First down, San Diego at the Cleveland 40-yard line. Walter Wilson in motion. Michael Dean Perry got a quick jump. There's a flag down on the incompleted pass. Perry popped up in his stance. He, of course, is pointing and saying, I was drawn off. I was drawn off, ref. I'm telling you.
We'll see what kind of clubhouse lawyer he is right now.
Offside, 92 defense.
Lost his first case.
I'd take it to appeal.
Let's take a look at Billy Joe Tolliver right now. Watch his head. See if he can. The head bob. No, didn't draw him off sides. Michael Dean just jumped a little bit early.
Chris, what do you think he does? Guesses the count? How do you think he works that he gets that quick jump like that?
I just think he's so much superior to other athletes in that front line area that he's faster, and he gets off, and it just looks like he's jumping the count a lot of times.
It's 1st and 5 now, near the Browns' 35-yard line. Ronnie Harmon, not much there as he gets stuck hard by Cleveland's Thane Gash. Gash, a big hitter, comes up from that free safety spot to make the tackle.
No matter what happens on this drive for the San Diego Chargers, though, they're doing something very important. They're giving their defense a chance to sit on the bench and rest a little bit. We talked to Leslie O'Neal yesterday, and he said one of the biggest problems that the defense has is when the offense goes in and is continually 3 and out. That puts too much pressure on them.
2nd down and 4. We haven't seen Marion Butts in a long time. He hasn't been in the lineup in some time now as Rod Bernstein gets the carry. And near a first down up near the Cleveland 30-yard line. Thane Gash gets wrapped up now after the play with one of the Chargers. That's Arthur Cox. Arthur Cox is a great blocking tight end. It's a heavyweight battle there between Gash and Cox.
Yeah, if you're wondering why Rod Bernstein is wearing number 82, he was a former #1 pick out of Texas A&M, and he played tight end originally in the National Football League, and then he was moved to H-back and given a chance to run the football.
As a matter of fact, Cleveland was very interested in drafting him out of Texas A&M. They were thinking rather that he possibly could be the replacement to Ozzie Newsome. It's very close, but they are short of the first down. So it'll be 3rd down and about 6 inches for a first down. But Cleveland could not get the trade to get Bernstein even after he was drafted by the San Diego Chargers. There was a lot of trade talk there, but they were very interested in him.
Interesting, Dan Henning, who you just saw on your screen right there, talked about Frank Minifield a little bit yesterday. He said that the one thing their defense lacks is a top quality cornerback, and he did mention Frank Minifield's name.
3rd and 1. That's Bob Bukowski charging across the line of scrimmage. And again, all the Browns defensive players point at Charger offensive linemen, but it's against Cleveland.
Encroachment, 94 defense, first down.
Well, I think it's great to get a great surge, but they have just given 10 yards up here. 5 on Michael Dean Perry and 5 on Bukowski.
On a 3rd and short situation right there. You stop them right there and force them to kick a field goal into the wind from about 50 yards. That's a big penalty.
It's 1st and 10 now at the Cleveland 25-yard line. Good time for Tolliver, but he's throwing it incomplete. He had nobody open. He was trying to get it to Caravello. And boy, Billy Joe is hot.
Let's take a look at Michael Dean Perry here. You think he gets a little bit of respect? Double teams everywhere that gentleman goes. You know, in his first year, Michael Dean Perry had 6 sacks, which is more than William the Fritz Perry, his brother, ever had in a single season during in the National Football League.
Second down and 10 after the incompleted pass as the Browns change up on defense. Rod Bernstein. He goes helmet to helmet with Michael Dean Perry, and Bernstein drives to the 20-yard line and a gain of 5. Third down and 5 coming up for San Diego.
Well, we talked about Michael Dean Perry's ability to rush the passer. Watch this pursuit. That's just a superior athlete right there. He's better. He's a better athlete than the guys he's playing against.
So it's third down. And they're calling it 3 now for San Diego. Touchdown, Anthony Miller, his first of the season. And San Diego jumps out on top.
You have got to be kidding me. They had Thane Gash trying to cover Anthony Miller. Just a straight zone defense. No shot here. No shot. Thane Gash, a free safety, can never, ever stay with Anthony Miller.
The San Diego Chargers put it right in the end zone on the touchdown pass by Tolliver to Anthony Miller. And Fuad Revez kicks it through for the extra point. So it's 6 minutes and 2 seconds left here in the first half. It's the Chargers leading over the Browns by 3. San Diego Chargers jump out here in the second quarter. Billy Joe Tolliver throws one on the money to Anthony Miller for a touchdown. And it's 10-7 San Diego as Fuad Revez will kick it away to Eric Metcalf. 6:02 to go here in the first half. Well, the wind blew that over Metcalf's shoulder. He made a nice catch. And he goes out to the 19-yard line where there is a late flag thrown. So a flag down right on the tackle of Metcalf at the 19-yard line. Boy, Metcalf runs a long, long way, doesn't he? Side to side, Chris. It's against the Browns.
Side to side is the key. And Bernie Kosar going back in there trying to get something together on this Cleveland Browns offense. Right now they've got 19 yards rushing.
Illegal block in the back. Number 44 on the receiving team. First down.
Stephon Adams, a special teams specialist for the Browns, is nailed with a penalty.
Watch the left of your screen. You're going to see the penalty here. Right there. Right in the back.
So Cleveland's backed up at their own 10-yard line. They have not had a good day throwing the ball. They have abandoned the run. And they trail 10-7 with Leroy Horn in the backfield. Here comes Horde. And a nice tackle by Junior Seau. The Chargers' top draft choice, the number 5 pick overall out of Southern Cal. Hey, next Sunday, NBC once again the place to be for great football doubleheader action, beginning at 12:30 Eastern with NFL Live. Then dangerous Dan Marino and the explosive Miami Dolphins battle Bubby Brister and the Steelers. And in the second half of our doubleheader, the Browns travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs and former head coach Marty Schottenheimer. We've got the lineup starting with NFL Live next Sunday, 12:30 here on NBC. Second down and 8. The ball is at the Cleveland 11-yard line. Quick pass, Kosar. Metcalf. First down. And that's how you have to use him.
That's what they talked about yesterday. We met with some of the players and coaches from the Cleveland Browns. And Eric Metcalf has not shown an ability to run inside, so they're going to try and get him the ball in the open field, and that's as good a way as any. They're afraid to go up and play bump and run against Eric Metcalf because he's simply too fast, so they have to play off, and some of those hitch routes can be very effective.
Cleveland gets themselves some breathing room now. 1st and 10 at their 22-yard line. Good push by the Browns offensive line in front of him gets him out to the 25-yard line. There's Junior Seau again. They say he is a very excitable player. Someone said he plays like his hair is on fire.
He's too excitable. That's what they talked about. Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator, said that he has to start playing within the system a little bit. He's running all over the field like a crazy person, but he's not making the ordinary plays that he has to make.
3 yards for the Browns on 1st down. 1st down's been a problem down for them. They've been 2 yards or under in their first 2 games on 1st down. Metcalf. And they run him up inside out of the tailback spot, and he goes out to the 26-yard line. It will be 3rd down.
You're hearing the boos, and I agree with you. I don't know why they're trying to run Eric Metcalf inside. They've tried it last year. They've tried it already this year. It has not worked. That young man has to be used almost like a wide receiver, out of the backfield, get him the ball in sweeps or quick passes, whatever you have to do, but you cannot run him between the tackles.
Kozar's got 3rd down and 7. Metcalf in the backfield right now. Leroy Horde is in a slot. Kozar's numbers not good. Big blitz. Metcalf. All the way down to the San Diego 39-yard line. It almost was picked off. I mean, it was that close.
Bert Grossman has the coverage. The right defensive end trying to cover Eric Metcalf. That's what happens when you blitz. It's a 35-yard play. Leslie O'Neal, when we talked to him yesterday, he said one of the problems the San Diego Chargers defense has is that it gives up too many big plays. They'll go along for a long time and be very effective, but give up big plays, and that's exactly what happened there.
2.5 left to go, 1st half. Browns trail by 3. We're at the San Diego 39. Kozar blitzed by Bayless, and that one should have been picked off by Henry Rolling, but he couldn't pull it down. Martin Bayless was in on Kozar in the play, and there's Rolling getting the start in the place of the injured Billy Ray Smith.
Here's Eric Metcalf coming out of the backfield and doing what he does best. He's one-on-one once again right now with the linebacker. Rolling had a chance to make the interception. Bernie Kosar paid the price. And what they're trying to do to Bernie Kosar is intimidate him. Even if they don't sack him, they want to hit him on every play, and they're getting after him. And right now you're seeing Eric Metcalf used as a wide receiver.
He's out at the top of your screen. 2nd down and 10. Leroy Horde, the lone back. Kozar, Newsom. They spot him down at the 1-yard line. Ozzie Newsom, a 38-yard pass play. Two minutes to go here in the 1st half.
The Wizard, the NFL's all-time leading pass-catching tight end. And you think Bernie Kosar likes that guy? One of the finest gentlemen in the National Football League, and yes, he can still play.
2 minutes left to go in the 1st half, and the Browns knocking on the door, down by 3. And the Browns down by 3 inside the 2. Leroy Horde up, touchdown.
A simple dive right over the top. Leroy Horde's going to get up and over. Very difficult to stop that play. Have to go back to what happened during that drive. The San Diego Chargers felt like they could intimidate Bernie Kosar during the course of the day by continually hitting him. So far, they haven't been able to do that. He hung in there very well that drive.
Pagel handles a sideways snap. That one almost went on the other side of him, and Korick puts it through for the extra point. Leroy Horde scores, and the Browns lead by 4. Back in Cleveland. Hey, that guy's wearing Hanford Dixon's old number. That isn't Hanford, is it?
Like
That isn't Hanford.
Yeah, it does. Looks a little like
Hanford's a much nicer dresser. It's 14-10 Cleveland at halftime. Bob Costas, Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson, all the scores and highlights in an interview with NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue. So we'll be going back to New York right at the end of the first half. We have some rain coming down here at the stadium in Cleveland right now. And as I said, it's cold enough that it could get a little sleety here as the afternoon goes along. Donald Frank takes the kickoff for San Diego. And he's out to the 25-yard line. Cleveland went 90 yards on that touchdown drive as Billy Joe Tolliver and Dan Henning now set the stage for the 2-minute drill with 1:51 remaining here in the first half. Remember, they used a timeout. They burned one, so they have 2 left.
It'll be interesting to see if they go to a 2-minute offense right now. The rain is coming down. There's a lot of wind down here.
I think that's snow.
They're in a close football game right now. And whether or not they're going to risk an interception and allow the Cleveland Browns to put some more points on the board, I don't know. We'll see.
Did you all do your Christmas shopping? It's like December 24th here. 1st and 10. Ronnie Harmon. Boy, he spun out of a tackle and got out to the 40-yard line. Randy Hilliard makes the stop on the play. Felix Wright was there too as Harmon makes a nice run. No huddle. Billy Joe Tolliver brings the Chargers right up 1st and 10 at the 40. They trail by 4. There's Harmon again, getting out of a tackle by Braggs. And he goes out of bounds at the Cleveland 36-yard line. That's getting up the field in a hurry.
You tell me how the Buffalo Bills let this guy go.
Well, he dropped that one pass.
He dropped one pass in a championship game, and they got rid of him. And they can't believe, the San Diego Chargers could not believe that they got this young man. Ronnie Harmon has been one great addition to the San Diego Chargers offense. And so far today, he's come up with almost all the big plays.
It's 1st and 10. They started at their own 25, and now they're down to the Browns' 37-yard line with a 1:21 showing on the clock. A flag is down. Tolliver throws it away out of bounds, and he is knocked out of bounds by Tony Blaylock as he's right over spilled into the Browns bench, but there is a flag down.
I don't think this call is holding, but there were about 4 guys on the Cleveland Browns defensive line that got tackled on that play. And it's going to be offsides against the Browns.
Offsides, 98 on the defensive team, lined up in the neutral zone. First down.
That's the rookie, Anthony Pleasant, that is called offside.
Watch the left side of your screen right here. The Cleveland Browns bring just about everybody. The San Diego Chargers, there's one hold. There's a couple of more. None of those get called. Billy Joe Tolliver wisely gets rid of it.
1st down and 5. The ball is at the Cleveland 32-yard line. McEwen goes in motion. Harmon running the ball. Chased out of bounds by Thane Gash, and he stops the clock with 1:08 remaining here in the first half.
Play just too slow developing. They try a bit of a delay, a draw in the backfield, and it just took too long. The Cleveland Browns reacted well on that play.
Mark Vlasic, he's in the jacket with the number 13 on it. He's signaling out the plays. He started the season, started the first game. They thought that Tolliver, and Tolliver himself thought that he kind of played it cozy during training camp in the preseason and lost the job. But he started last week against Cincinnati. 2nd down, 5. He's going for Anthony Miller again, but Raymond Claiborne had good coverage on the play, and it will be 3rd down with 1:03 left.
Jimmy, I tell you, when I heard that they signed Raymond Claiborne for $900,000, I scoffed. I really did. But watching him play out here today, he's every bit as effective as he was when I played against him. He has not had any trouble at all covering these San Diego Chargers receivers, and they're very good. Raymond Claiborne living up to the big money he got from the Cleveland Browns organization.
Big play now for San Diego. 3rd down and 5 at the Cleveland 32-yard line with 1:03 left. 5 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Intercepted. Tony Blaylock intercepts the pass for the Browns. They needed a big defensive play, and Tolliver throws his 2nd interception of the day.
Dixon and Minifield, who? Watch this play. This is another throw Billy Joe Tolliver should have never made. Well, I take that back. He should have made the throw. He should have just thrown it sooner. That was a horribly thrown football.
Tony Blaylock has come up with some big plays since getting the starting corner job for the Browns. He picked up a fumble in the team's opening game against Pittsburgh and scored. And he said the night before the Pittsburgh game, he had a dream that said that he would make that kind of play and score in that particular end zone off to our left here at the stadium. And he comes up with a big one here today. Speaking of dreams, throwing the ball today, other than one pretty good pass, has been a nightmare for Tolliver.
Yeah, you've got to wonder if there's going to be any consideration given at all to putting Mark Classic in the game right now.
We'll be right back. 56 seconds left to go in the first half. Hey, good call. All right, do it for us again. Are they even going to run it? Yeah, they're going to have to run another play. Just do that again, huh?
Preston, I'll call them all the rest of the way, all the way through.
San Diego calls a timeout.
I like it. They know that the Browns are trying to get in here at halftime, and they're not going to let them. They're going to force them to work through this thing a little bit, try and get a first down, and if not, punt the football, because they're going to get the ball at least somewhere around midfield.
Dan Henning wants 5 seconds put back on that clock. All right, tonight, once again on NBC, a double feature. Imagine if the comedy stars of your favorite TV shows went off to summer camp. Well, it happens tonight in the movie Camp Cucamonga. Then one of the most important movies of the year, the critically acclaimed She Said No, starring Veronica Hamill and Judd Hirsch. So it's Camp Cucamonga and She Said No tonight on NBC. Back to Dan Henning. He feels he called the timeout with 49 seconds left, and the clock shows 44. That's what he was pointing up to.
Now a different situation. Now you know the Chargers are going to call timeout. They're going to try and force you to get a first down. Now what do you do for the Cleveland Browns? Are you willing to put the ball up down on your own 20-yard line with a 4-point lead? I still don't think so. I would still be very conservative down here.
Ford goes down at the 24-yard line, and now you have 35 seconds left, 36 seconds left rather, and they do use their last timeout. And we'll be back to Cleveland Stadium right after this break with 36 seconds left here in the first half. Dan Henning has put it right on the Browns' shoulders right now on 3rd down and 6.
Let me make another prediction. Absolutely guarantee you 100% that this is a run play.
Good play by Leslie O'Neal, and now he's going to try and rip the ball away from Leroy Horde.
This crowd is booing, but they don't know what they're talking about. All the Cleveland Browns wanted to do is go in at halftime with this 4-point lead. There's no way for the Chargers to stop the clock right now. They did exactly what they wanted that series.
Well, it started out with both offenses absolutely anemic, but they got it going in the second quarter. A big play by San Diego, a touchdown pass to Anthony Miller. A big play by the Browns as they drove on a 90-yard drive and ended with a touchdown run by Leroy Horde. They've had an interception for a touchdown. Mike Johnson, 64 yards, and at halftime, it's 14-10 Cleveland. With Cris Collingsworth, Cleveland came into this football game, and as you said at the top of the show, Bernie Kosar would face that very, very tough San Diego front seven. He'd He had gone 153 passes without throwing an interception, and then finally pressure forced him to throw one today.
Yeah, I thought a real test of Bernie Kosar's courage in that first half. He knew he was going to get hit. That's one of the best defensive lines in all of football, and sure enough, he did. He got hit plenty of times in that first half, but he hung in there, and by the second quarter, he had that offense working.
Here's the interception, Chris, as we set it up for you.
Bernie under pressure the entire day. Finally just threw a bad ball. Sammy Seal came up with the big interception, but he hung in there. Bernie Kosar taking a lot of heat throughout the day and throughout this year so far. As always, the quarterback is going to be the guy that's going to get the blame. No matter how poorly anyone plays around him, Bernie Kosar is going to have to accept the blame, and he's willing to.
All right, now Kosar then told me on Friday that what the Browns really wanted to do early in the game was get a long drive going. Now, the Browns were trailing in the game 10-7, and they went on a 90-yard touchdown drive, and Kosar really made a couple of big plays.
Yeah, he really did. Bernie showed true to form and showed why he's making all those millions of dollars. But here's the big play. The Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Newsome, as he's done so many times for these Cleveland Browns, comes up with the big play and takes it down to the one that set up their touchdown, their go-ahead touchdown in this football game.
Their rookie Leroy Horde took it in for the touchdown. Bud Carson, and you can see that wind pushing back the Bud Carson dew as he gets set for the second half. Bud's defense came up with a very, very big play as they picked off Billy Joe Tolliver in the first quarter. And it was a 64-yard touchdown romp after the interception by Mike Johnson. Billy Joe Tolliver threw 2 interceptions in the game, one at the end of the half as Tony Blaylock picked it off. Chris, here's the halftime stats. And as you can see in the first quarter, both offenses had a lot of problems. A lot of these numbers come in the second quarter.
Yeah, just a typical game. Anytime you play here in Cleveland Stadium, you can expect 2 things. 1, you're going to have to run the football, and 2, there's going to be turnovers because it's very difficult to throw the football out here. I don't know if the people sitting at home realize just how windy it is, but more than that, the wind is gusting around this stadium. It has an open end to the lake, and what happens is the wind comes in here, and all of a sudden it starts circling. So as a wide receiver, if the wind is blowing from one direction, you can account for it, but here in Cleveland Stadium, it can come from anywhere.
Second half underway as Brian Wagner moves into the ball. Donald Frank, 5 yards deep in his end zone, will take the touchback, and San Diego will start at their own 20. You know what you have to wonder, Chris, now? Is either one of these offenses good enough to win this football game? Because we know that both defenses are good enough to win it.
Well, I think in the second quarter, both offenses showed exactly what they're capable of. And Billy Joe Tolliver, when they started going more to the short passing game, letting him get rid of the football and not have to deal with the likes of Michael Dean Perry, became much more effective. His numbers 8 for 22, not very good. But it doesn't account for the fact that he did lead this team down the field a couple of times in the second quarter.
Now we notice that Marion Butts is back in as a running back for San Diego. He sat out much of the second quarter. They went with Ronnie Harmon. That's Craig McEwen down the line in motion. Here's Butts. Short yardage as Tony Blaylock comes up on the corner to make the tackle for Cleveland.
You know, the interesting thing about Marion Butts is he was a blocking back at Florida State for Sammy Smith, who's now with the Miami Dolphins. Carried the football only 29 times during his entire senior season down there at Florida State University. I asked him before the game down on the field if he was enjoying becoming a star. He said absolutely.
2nd and 7. Anthony Miller is the only wide receiver right now. Butts, and a good play by Robert Banks.
Robert Banks trying to make up for something that happened last week against the New York Jets. He hauled off and kicked tight end Chris Dressel of the Jets and promptly got thrown out of the ball game. A very ugly scene. It was hard to tell whether or not he was trying to kick Dressel in the head or not, but a lot of people in the National Football League and a lot of his teammates very down on Robert Banks after that play last week.
Bud Carson read on the riot act during the practice week. We just will not stand for that. And Banks has put it behind him now. It's 3rd down and 9. It's long, and a diving grab there by Anthony Miller. Incomplete, as Claiborne and Felix Wright on the coverage for Cleveland.
Let me tell you something. Raymond Claiborne appears to me to be a better football player now than when he was with the New England Patriots. Look at this. Anthony Miller is one of the fastest guys in the National Football League. Raymond Claiborne's 35 years old and stride for stride, not even looking like he's breathing hard out there.
John Kidd will punt. 3 and out now for San Diego on their first possession. And they had the wind with them on that series, as they will in the entire third quarter. Leo Lewis for Cleveland. 32-yard line, and he takes a hit as he catches the ball, as Donald Early is down there and puts him down after a 47-yard punt by John Kidd. Now Bernie Kosar, who did get the Browns offense going in the second quarter late at the end of the half, brings his team out. Next month, basketball's the focus when NBC travels to the site of the Summer Olympic Games for '92, Barcelona, Spain, for the McDonald's Open. The NBA's New York Knicks will represent the USA in this international tournament that also features the up-and-coming European pros, including Yugoslavia. So check out Pat Ewing and the NBA pros as the Knicks take on the greats from Europe in the McDonald's Open, October 13th here on NBC. Ozzie Newsome falling down as he makes the catch out at the 34-yard line.
I tell you what, they've got an unbelievable matchup right now. If they can take advantage of it, the free safety, Vincey Glenn, is trying to cover Eric Metcalf, split out wide to the left here. The coaches, I'm sure, saw that on that last play. It'll be interesting to see if they go back to Metcalf.
Newsome's been a missing link in the Browns offense for a couple of seasons. But Jim Schaffner, when he came in as offensive coordinator, said that the tight end would be used more this year, and he's got 3 catches today and set up the Browns offensive touchdown. 2nd and 7, draw, Ford. Good run up near a first down. 2nd and 3rd effort by Horde.
Who cares what that young man does in practice? I'm telling you, when he comes into a football game, he comes to play. Really reminds me a little bit of Kevin Mack in the way he plays this game. Watch him. No Eric Metcalf itis here on this young man. He's going to put his head down and make something happen. And that's exactly what you want to see out of those big backs. And that's why they're so high on this young man.
Well, he said it wasn't until he won the MVP in the Rose Bowl in his sophomore season at Michigan that he really took football serious and thought he could be very good. 3rd down and 1 for Cleveland.
I cannot believe the matchup they've got right now. Eric Metcalf on strong safety Martin Bayless. There it is.
And a first down near midfield at the 49-yard line of Cleveland, as they saw it too, Chris, and Metcalf is wide open.
You have got to be kidding me. Martin Bayless, a strong safety, 6'2", 212 pounds, and they've got him on one of the best athletes in the National Football League. I knew the coaches were going to pick up on it sooner or later. Just get him the ball. You saw Martin Bayless fall down. No shot at covering that young man.
9-yard gain and a first down. Dumps it off to Horde, and he cannot hang on. That was a change of directions by Kosar. It looked like he was going out deeper on the pass play, and then while throwing, in the throwing motion, he dumped it off to Horde.
I've got to tell you, I missed that play. I'm so caught up in this matchup that they've got right now. They've got Gil Byrd and Sam Seal both playing the wide receivers, Webster Slaughter and Reggie Langhorne, who they've got both on the same side of the field, and that's leaving Metcalf one-on-one. They're going to have to exploit that matchup before the day's over with.
Now they've got Metcalf at a tailback spot with Horde at fullback as Metcalf comes out of the backfield. Horde is open, drops it, Langhorne picks it up, and he gets dumped down at the 50-yard line. So they are saying that it was a catch, then a fumble, and Langhorne recovers.
I have to laugh. Look at Eric Metcalf. He's coming off the field, and he says, will someone please throw me the ball? I've got a strong safety on me over here. Leroy Horde gets the ball, and Henry Rolling, I believe it was, that caused the fumble. A break for the Browns, though. They retain possession.
Now they're faced with 3rd down and 10 as Brennan and Joins come into the Cleveland receiving corps. And we have the officials blowing play dead right now.
For the play clock, please reset to 20 seconds.
So an adjustment in the play clock.
And that microphone, please.
Yeah, really. 40 seconds. And a couple of hearing aids up here.
Please reset the play clock to 20 seconds.
It's 14-10 Cleveland.
Somebody please do it.
With 11 minutes exactly left here in the third quarter. And they want the play clock reset to 20 seconds. And there it is now.
The Browns are coming out in their spread formation right now. And this was the formation that the Chargers thought they could take advantage of. We talked with Ron Lynn yesterday, and he didn't feel that they could protect from this formation. So expect to see some pressure on Bernie Kosar right here.
Kosar puts Horde, the running back, right up on the offensive line as he's in shotgun on 3rd and 10. Oh, boy, look at the pressure. And Reggie Langhorne tries to make a fingertip catch, and then he's drilled out of bounds. Kosar, as soon as he got the snap, he had a Charger right in his face. Let's pick up on that.
You're not going to get a full look at it right here, but the Chargers send 6 guys. The Browns only had 5 to protect. That meant someone was left free, and Bernie Kosar once again takes a shot to the chops.
Safety Vincey Glenn came in blowing on Kosar. And there's Scott Schwades standing at his 10-yard line. And the Browns punt. Wagner handles a low snap from Ralph Tam. Keith Bostic touches it down at the 15-yard line. We have 10.5 remaining here in the third quarter. It's a 4-point Cleveland lead over the Chargers. We'll be back.
Is brought to you by Diet Coke with 100% NutraSweet. You'll drink it just for the taste of it. By Magnavox. Smart choices for smart people. Magnavox. Smart. Very smart. And by Mitsubishi. Bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. See them all at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer.
Welcome back to sold-out Cleveland Stadium. Jim Donovan and Cris Collingsworth here with you. 10 minutes and 34 seconds left. Third quarter, 14-10 Cleveland. And Billy Joe Tolliver throws to Walter Wilson. The rookie makes the catch and is knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Now it's time for the Hertz ticker. The 10-minute ticker. The Giants lead 10-3. Kansas City on a Christian Okoye touchdown leads over Green Bay, and Chicago winning. Boy, the Bengals laying it on the Patriots, and Dallas playing Washington tough at Washington. New Orleans looking for their first win, and Houston's ahead. And Cleveland leading here 14-10. The Chargers are 0-2. Cleveland is 1-1. Second down, Marion Butts. Browns defenders might have given up on that play a little early as Butts turned the corner and then got a couple of extra yards. Now Bubba Baker is getting up slowly.
Watch Marion Butts as he heads towards the sideline. Looks like he's just going to run out of bounds. And I think the Cleveland Browns defense thought he was too. They kind of stopped. Clay Matthews lost him there. And he just turned it up the field. Now they've got a 3rd and short.
3rd down and 1. Ken Rose, Eddie Johnson check in for Cleveland. Laylock and Van Waiters come on. It's complete to McEwen. And a big gainer to the 45-yard line. Cris, I think you're going to watch some disorganization on the Cleveland defense if we see this play again, because they got some late substitutions in and they were all running around at the line of scrimmage. Yeah,
and they had to be surprised by what happened on that play. Here you've got 250-pound Marion Butts in your backfield, a 3rd and 1 situation, and they don't even use play action. A straight drop back, come up with a big play. Great call by Dan Hennig.
Raymond Claiborne had trouble with a swollen knee last week against the Jets, but he said it felt better, but he limps off right now and goes to the Cleveland bench. That was a 20-yard play on 3rd and 1. First down, San Diego. Marion Butts has a hole and a lot of running room. Felix Wright makes the tackle at the Cleveland 23-yard line. First down, San Diego.
Here's number 35, Marion Butts, right in the middle of your screen. This man is absolutely a load. They played the Cincinnati Bengals last week, and all of those guys said, if I never see Marion Butts again, it'll be too soon. Felix Wright saved the touchdown.
35 yards for number 35, Marion Butts. And the Browns defense now being pushed around, and so the crowd jumps up to try and urge them on. Time for Tolliver, but he runs out of time. Bubba Baker.
I don't know what Billy Joe Tolliver was thinking about on that play. He had Craig McEwen wide open. He had time to throw the football. That's all the time in the world in the National Football League right there. Al Bubba Baker finally came in and made the sack. Watch Anthony Miller right down the middle. He's open. McEwen was open. Billy Joe held on to the football too long.
Wasn't that the same pass route he ran on the touchdown for Miller?
Exactly.
Second down and 20. There was a loss of 10 on that sack. Ronnie Harmon inside the 25. Tackled by Ken Rose. It's important to remember about San Diego. Their offense has not scored a point in the second half this year, and Cleveland's defense has not given up any points in the second half this year.
Really an amazing stat. The Cleveland Brown defenders right now are just trying to hold this one down to a field goal. They've obviously given up some big plays, so if they can turn around and just give up 3 points and maintain the lead right here, they're going to be very happy.
3rd and 12. Touchdown, Anthony Miller, wide open. His second touchdown catch of the afternoon and second of the season, and the Chargers lead.
Stephen Braggs, the puppy dog they call him around here, absolutely no match for Anthony Miller. They're right behind each other in an I formation almost. Felix Wright gets completely turned around, the free safety. Stephen Braggs, no way you're going to keep up with that guy. One of the fastest players in the National Football League.
Reves for the extra point. And the San Diego Chargers drive and score on their second possession, their first points of the season in the second half. And they lead by 3, 17-14 here at Cleveland Stadium. Juan Reves kicks it away as the Chargers lead by 3, and Eric Metcalf takes it right at his 1-yard line. In trouble, and tremendous defensive search. That was Steve Hendrickson coming down on special teams, just acquired from the San Francisco 49ers off waivers. They picked him off waivers. There's a flag down on the play. Metcalf took it in the corner of his end zone at the 1, ran across the field and got hit at the 5.
Ran across the field again. I have no idea what the Cleveland Browns are trying to do on their kickoff scheme right now, and they're going to get a penalty to boot. But the San Diego Chargers continue to kick it to the left corner, and the Browns are trying to return it all the way back to the other side of the field. And you simply cannot do that. I know Eric Metcalf is fast, but he's not that fast.
Let's pick up the penalty.
Illegal use of hands, blocking the back. Number 47 on the receiving team. First down.
That's Keith Bostic that commits the infraction. And look at the field position for the Browns. There's Bostic, the ex-Oiler.
Right now is the biggest point in the game.
Yes.
It really is. The Cleveland Browns have horrible field position, cannot afford a turnover, cannot afford to make a mistake down there, and you're looking at one of the best defenses in the league. When this game is over with, we'll look back at this series of downs right now, and this will be the deciding factor of the game.
It's raining and a strong wind blowing into the face of Kozar as he takes it from his own 2. He rolls out for the first time today and threw it down at the feet of Ozzie Newsome. And let's step out right now and go to New York. NFL Live update. Here's Bob Costas.
All right, Jim, here's a sequence at the Astrodome where the instant replay rule played a part. Jack Trudeau back to throw for Indianapolis, hits Billy Brooks at the back of the end zone. The officials say no, he didn't get both feet down. They check on the replay, and they find not enough evidence to overrule it. So, in effect, the call stands. They settle for a field goal. Houston leads 17-3. Jim?
Thanks, Bob. Cleveland in a peck of trouble here. 2nd and 10 at their own 2. Those are right back again. Looking for Slaughter. Into the San Diego bench, incomplete. And listen to the boos.
Now the Browns have a decision to make, though. Whether or not they want to continue to try and pick up a first down right now, or go with the running play and try and get the ball out past the 5-yard line. Otherwise, you're going to have your punter back there in a world of trouble, because he's only going to have about 10 yards to punt the football, and by the time he takes 2 or 3 steps, there's going to be absolutely nowhere to kick the football. I think you're going to see a running play right here.
The rain picking up once again. Would you run right here?
Absolutely. You've got to get the ball out in this situation and give your punter a chance.
3rd and 10 from their 2. Now they're throwing. Langhorne spreads out and makes the catch at the 10, but they're short of the first down.
They're calling it incomplete. That was an incredibly dangerous call. Reggie Langhorne did a good job just knocking this ball down. Let's watch it. Gets dinged. But that ball bounces around a little bit, and the Chargers make an interception right there. This ball game's over. They've got it inside the 5.
Brian Wagner right back on the end line. Low snap to boot. Got it out of there. Did a good job to do that. This is Schwade's. To the 35-yard line. San Diego has great field position. We are in the middle of a storm right now here in Cleveland Stadium. 17-14 San Diego. They trailed 14-10 at the half. And then Billy Joe Tolliver, their last time out on the field, took them 7 plays, 84 yards, and he fired a touchdown pass, his 2nd of the day, 23 yards, to Anthony Miller. And we'll be back to Cleveland Stadium. See what the Chargers do here in the 3rd quarter. They lead by 4. From behind to get Marion Butts and drop him for a loss.
Watch Michael Dean Perry on this play. It's that counter OT play again, where the left guard and left tackle are going to pull out and go up in the hole. They don't even account for Michael Dean Perry, because most defensive tackles can never make that play. They're not fast enough. Simply does not work with Michael Dean Perry on the field. What a great football player.
A light rain coming down here in the 3rd quarter. We have 5:27 left in the 3rd quarter, and San Diego leads by 3. I said 4 as we went to commercial. Butts is wide open to the 29 of Cleveland, and Ken Rose makes the tackle. Boy, we didn't see Butts at all in the first half, and now here in the second half, he is a real force.
Well, this is what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, Marion Butts and his ability to wear down a defense, and that's exactly what the San Diego Chargers are doing right now. The Cleveland Browns defense has been on the field much too long already in this ball game, and right now you're seeing the effects of that power offense.
Mike Johnson limps out. Eddie Johnson replaces the Browns' leading tackler on defense. 3rd down and 4 for San Diego. McEwen open across the middle. There's a flag down. He has a first down as he's tackled by Thane Gash at the Cleveland 19, but there's a flag down on the field. It's against Cleveland.
Looked like there was defensive pass interference down the field. It wasn't on Thane Gash, I don't believe. We'll get the call.
Holding, 52 defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Ken Rose on the tight end down the field. But right now, things looking a little bit desperate for this Cleveland Browns defense. The San Diego Chargers throwing the ball, running the football, doing just about anything they want right now.
The Chargers lead 17-14. They have a first down at the Cleveland 20-yard line with 4:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. Almost intercepted. intercepted by Raymond Claiborne, and again another mystery throw by Billy Joe Tolliver.
Billy Joe has to learn that when you get in a bad situation, don't try and make something up. Right now, the San Diego Chargers have everything going their way. The thing they cannot afford to have happen to them is a turnover. And right now, the Cleveland Browns defense beating themselves.
Another offside penalty against Cleveland. San Diego sideline, and the Browns defense. Mike Johnson, if you see him motioning in the substitutions, he's back in the lineup. Bud Carson. Game plan rolled up in his fist right now as Browns defense settles in 1st and 5 at their own 15 against Tolliver's Chargers. Marion Butts. Wow. A power touchdown. There's a flag down. This one might be coming back. Holding San Diego.
Wow. Did you see Marion Butts run over Tony Blaylock on that play? I mean, that was like an NFLer playing against a Pop Warner kid. Just buried.
Holding 53 offense. First down.
Courtney Hall picks up the penalty.
Even though we've got a holding call, let's watch Marion Butts right here. And then watch Tony Blaylock. Number 24 is going to come into your picture. Oh. That's about as embarrassing as it gets for a defensive back right there.
Whew. But it all goes for naught. The holding penalty on Courtney Hall wipes it out. And it's 1st and 15 at the Cleveland 25. So they go back to Butts. Michael Dean Perry and Van Waiters. Waiters was actually the guy that turned it back to the inside.
Yeah, Van Waiters said, you may run over our defensive backs, but you're not going to run over me like that. And right now, a very big series of downs for this Cleveland Browns defense. They cannot afford to give up a touchdown. A field goal, yes, that'll put them down by 6 points, and they can score a touchdown and still win the ball game. But with the way the Cleveland offense is playing right now, you can't expect that offense to score 2 touchdowns to win the game. I just don't think they have it in them.
Ronnie Harmon, and another good tackle by the Browns defense. Felix Wright comes up from his safety spot.
Well, this has been the area of the field that Anthony Miller has been so effective. Let's see if the Cleveland Browns are willing to go again to that man defense that has been burnt twice already by Anthony Miller. Let's keep our eye on him, because right now the Browns defense is doing a job after getting a break on that holding call.
3rd down, 17.
Anthony Miller's in that same spot. They're all pointing to him.
Incomplete.
I can't believe it. Anthony Miller was wide open on the same play again, and Billy Joe Tolliver didn't see him in time. Look at him. Anthony can't believe it. He said that should have been touchdown number 3. Wide open. He was more wide open that time than he was on the other 2. On the same play. The same play.
Miller to the sideline, and Fuad Robez is out to attempt the field goal. The spot coming at the 35-yard line, a 45-yard field goal attempt. He's 1 for 1 on the day. It's short. And again, Robez cannot connect on the pressure field goal. We'll be back. Cleveland at their own 27 after the missed field goal by San Diego. Metcalf tries to fight for a couple of yards, and he sidesteps over a tackle. Now, Fuad Robez just missed from 44 yards. We told you at the top of the game that Robez is really kicking for his job here today.
Yeah, Dan Henning told us yesterday that if he doesn't have a good day here this afternoon, this could be his last game. You see, so far he's made 2 field goals, including one this afternoon, but he's missed 3 and had 1 extra point block.
Gain of 3 for Metcalf. Cleveland down by 3, 17-14 with 1:46 to go in the third quarter. Screen pass set up for Hoare. He fights for a first down.
Great job by Ozzie Newsome on that play. They came with a blitz from Martin Bayless on the left side of your screen. You can just barely see it. Gave Bernie Kosar time to set up the screen. Ford really impressing me out here today. I think he's going to be the back of the future here for the Cleveland Browns.
I'll tell you who else had a great block was Ben Jefferson, the left guard out of Maryland. Those offensive linemen have been taking a lot of heat. Let's tip their hat to them on a good block by Jefferson. 1st and 10 at the 38. Under a minute to go, third quarter. Langhorn's open. Vincey Glenn is the defensive back that was on the coverage there of Langhorn. They both take a wicked hit.
I tell you, what a gutsy catch right there by Reggie Langhorn. That guy, he doesn't get nearly the credit that Webster Slaughter does, but this guy, he knows he's going to get hit here. He knows it. Vincey Glenn is a big hitter. Boom! Hangs on to the football. You love to see that kind of courage in a wide receiver. Great play.
22-yard catch for Reggie Langhorn. Vincey Glenn is still down. Here's the play again, Chris.
You want to know why wide receivers make a lot of money? Because they have to run post patterns like this when they know they're going to get tagged.
So really Reggie Langhorn, yeah, nice. Langhorn, he was a little slow coming out of the lineup, and now he's back in and replaces Brian Brennan. But our attention shifts to Vincey Glenn, who's still down on the turf here at Cleveland Stadium. The Giants on 2 O.J. Anderson touchdowns lead 17-3. Kansas City, they won a big game up at Green Bay at the end of last year, and they're winning there again today.
Mikowski starting that game, too.
Washington's really struggling with Dallas. It's a kicker's delight in that one, 9-6, and Cincinnati's having an easy time against the Patriots. Houston looking for their first win, in Indianapolis in that same boat. And New Orleans and a Reuben Mays touchdown leads 14-7 in the fourth. It is 17-14 San Diego. Reggie Langhorn just caught a 22-yard pass from Bernie Kosar, and there was a wicked collision on the play. Vincey Glenn is the defensive back who was involved, and he is still down.
Let's hope he's okay. This was quite a collision right here. Reggie Langhorn, great concentration. And it looks like, I don't even want to speculate, but he hit him with the side of his head and his shoulder. Could be either or. Vincey Glenn, a tough young man, and has been down on the field for a long time. We certainly hope he's okay. You see the concern of his teammates there. Sammy Seal taking a look. They know just how valuable Vincey Glenn is to the secondary.
One of those real scary moments in football now when you see a player stretched out like that.
But you do see movement, though, so that's the good part.
All right, tonight on NBC, a double feature, 2 world premiere movies. First, a wild comedy, just by title alone, Chris, Camp Cucamonga.
You've done that right all day. I'm so proud of you.
Featuring 7 of your favorite TV comedy stars, followed by She Said No. Vincey Glenn is up now in a sitting position, and that is encouraging.
They're taking plenty of time, though, and they're talking to him more than looking at a particular part of his body. And generally that means that it was a blow to the head, some kind of a concussion, something like that. What they'll do in this situation is ask you questions like, where are you? What's your name? What's your telephone number? Who's the coach? And if you can't come up with the right answer, Dan Henning in this case, then they get a little concerned.
Well, he's getting up very, very slow and will be assisted off the field by the Charger training staff. Vince Glenn. Leaving the field here at Cleveland. We have 39 seconds remaining in the third quarter. San Diego leading 17-14.
That's a scary situation. I had that happen to me right here at Cleveland Stadium one time. The first play of the game, Frank Minifield came up and tagged me right underneath the chin. I was knocked backwards, knocked unconscious. They dragged me over to the bench, and I remember the first thing that I could remember, I looked up at the clock and there was like 13 minutes left, but it was in the second quarter. I was gone bye-bye for an entire quarter.
First and 10 Browns. They're in San Diego territory at the 40. Nice catch by Brian Brennan. And he did have possession when he went out of bounds. He had to come back and make that catch.
I don't know if the people at home could see what that ball did, but that was like a knuckleball going out there. A big gust of wind came up, and Brian Brennan just made a great play. This thing is flying all over the place out there. Brian Brennan with a nice catch.
This will be the last play of the third quarter. Leroy Horn in trouble. Let's see if he can make something out of it. No, a nice shoestring tackle by Junior Seau. And that's the end of the third quarter. The San Diego Chargers lead at the end of 3. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. As we head to the fourth quarter, San Diego has to be looking over their shoulder a bit, as you can see right there on your screen. Now, they lead 17-14 today. But look at that. They have not held leads well at all. And really, if you go back to last year, that was a problem for them, too. Big play for Cleveland. Third down and 4. I think got the Chargers offside.
Look out.
Oh, Metcalf drilled from behind by Leslie O'Neal. But San Diego jumped. Here's Vince Glenn being taken off on a cart behind the San Diego bench. And we do not have a report right now on the condition of Vince Glenn. We'll get that from the San Diego bench as soon as we can. As soon as the Chargers make that information available to us.
Offsides, number 57, defense, first down.
So San Diego is guilty of a big offside defensive penalty.
Certainly feel for the family of Vince Glenn. We certainly hope he's okay.
Henry Rolling, replacing Billy Ray Smith, commits that penalty. First down Cleveland at the San Diego 29. They trail 17-14. Metcalf, but he's tackled right away. Tackled by Donald Frank. He's a rookie out of Winston-Salem, and they're very pleased with the play of Donald Frank.
We've got an interesting situation now where the Cleveland Browns are in a situation where they're staying with that short passing game, and it's effective. Right now, the San Diego Chargers and all that great pass rush over there, they haven't been close to Bernie Kosar. A nice game plan put together by Bud Carson and his staff.
Second down 7, Cleveland, as Metcalf goes in motion. Blitz and a sack. Lee Williams. Third sack of the day, 13th of the year.
I figured as soon as I said that, this was going to happen. Number 99, Lee Williams, you're not going to be able to get him very well. Holy cow, they didn't even touch him. Wow.
Well, it looked like Kevin Robbins just let him go by.
Just put a hand on him or something. That looked like they were trying to set up a screen. Lee Williams not even touched.
He can't believe it. Look at Grossman coming over and saying, wow, boy, that was easy. Third down, 13 for Cleveland with Horn in the backfield. Shotgun for the Browns. And another blitz, and Bayless hit him, and it's picked off by Rolling.
Look out! Look out!
All the way down to the 5-yard line. Martin Bayless Bayless hit Kozar as he threw, and Henry Rolling picked it off. There's a flag down by midfield. Well, that's a nice way to step in the lineup for the injured Billy Ray Smith for Rolling. We'll pick up the call on the play. But boy, was Martin Bayless in there on Kozar and hit him hard.
Big call right now. It looks like it may be after the interception, and if that's the case, the play will stand. Whether or not they're going to get the ball down around the goal line or not is still in question. They're talking it over.
There's Reggie Linehorn on the Cleveland bench as we wait for the call, and we're about to get it now.
We have offsetting personal fouls after the tackle. San Diego's ball, first down.
So the play basically stands, and Kozar goes to the bench, and we'll take a look at that interception again.
Watch Henry Rolling right in the middle of your screen, number 57. He's just playing center field. He's not really guarding anybody. Backs out, looked like he was going to blitz, and now he's in the lurk position right in the middle of the field. There's not even a receiver there. There's nobody even close. And Henry Rolling is rolling down the field, outruns his blockers a little bit, and probably cost himself a touchdown. But right now, the San Diego Chargers have a chance to put this ball game away.
A 67-yard return. Vernon Jones finally brought him down. It's 1st and goal, San Diego, at the 6 of Cleveland. Browns jump again. Rob Burnett is the player, number 90, who was across the line and held his helmet.
Number 90 defense. First down.
Our preliminary report on the condition of Vincey Glenn is a concussion, and he has been taken off, as you saw, but he really took a wicked hit on the tackle when he hit Langhorne on that pass catch. So the penalty half the distance to the goal line now, and it was on the rookie Rob Burnett. Brings it down to the Cleveland 3, but again it's first down. We have 13:05 left in regulation time. San Diego leads by 3. Marion Butts. Nice play by Bob Bukowski to cut him down at the ankles. And Bukowski might be injured. I believe his right leg got trapped underneath Marion Butts. He's okay. He's waving him off. He doesn't look okay, though, does he?
No, and a big series of downs right now for the Cleveland Browns. If San Diego can score a touchdown, this game's over. After what I've seen of the Cleveland Browns offense so far this afternoon, if they get a 10-point lead, this ball game is over with.
Now, there are 12.5 minutes remaining in regulation time. And you're saying that the Browns, if they give up a touchdown.
You tell me. Right now, you tell me. So far, the Cleveland Browns offense has, what, 3 touchdowns on the entire year?
That's right.
They've got 2 touchdowns defensively. So maybe if their defense can stay on the field long enough, they can get back in the game. And one with special teams. In 13 minutes, I don't see them scoring 10 points. No, sir.
Bob Bukowski trying to come off under his own power. Flexing the right leg after he made the nice tackle of Marion Butts. They lost 3 yards on that play. Back over the 5-yard line. 2nd down and goal. It's Butts again driving for the end zone, but they say he touched down at the half-yard line.
Butts the ball carrier. The tackle by Mike Johnson and
He hit before the goal line, but the question is, did anybody touch him? Because if not, he's allowed to bounce in the end zone. I don't see anybody touching Marion Butts on that play. And if they did not, that should have been a touchdown. Let's take another look. We'll get a better angle here. I don't know.
Maybe that guy from the backside, Mike Johnson, might have gotten him on the foot. That's what they're saying. Dan Henning watching now.
Play of the game right here.
Butts is out of there. Are we going to get another look? Yes, this one's going to replay. So let's take another look ourselves.
Based on the replays we saw, it would have to be inconclusive. Ooh, I don't know. I didn't see anybody touch him.
Well, let's bring him back.
Let's take a look. Felix Wright is right there.
Well, there's Mike Johnson coming over the top from the right.
I'm sorry, I didn't see anybody touch him. It's impossible to tell whether or not Felix Wright did touch him, but it doesn't look to me like he did. They're not going to change that call, though. That's inconclusive. Dan Henning would like to see a touchdown. This Cleveland Browns goal line defense has been very effective. Made a big stand against the Pittsburgh Steelers on opening day. Let's take one more look. Marion Butts.
After further review, the play will stand as called. It's third down.
I'm sorry, nobody touched him on that play.
Bob Bukowski is back in the lineup, number 94 for Cleveland. He left injured 2 plays ago. It is third and goal.
Here comes the crowd.
Touchdown, San Diego. There's a flag down, but Cleveland jumped offside. Van Waiters was offside, I believe, on the right side. Yep, that's it. Touchdown, San Diego.
Offsides. Number 50 on the defense. Penalty is declined. It's touchdown.
Good call.
It was Van Waiters, the linebacker on the right side, that jumped off, and Bud Carson's team is in a lot of trouble.
And Waiters, you can clearly see they're offsides.
Rod Bernstein takes it in for the touchdown. And San Diego, if Reves can make the extra point, will be up by 10. And they are. There's a flag down, though, on this. 11:24 left in regulation time. Reves certainly of interest on this call.
We have delay of game. There's 12 men on the defense. The point is good. We will penalize on the kickoff.
Boy, Cleveland's had all kinds of penalty problems, and they've got a lot of problems now. Down by 10 with 11:24 left in the game. We'll be back. Jim Donovan and Cris Collingsworth back at Cleveland Stadium with 11:24 left in the fourth quarter. And the San Diego Chargers lead by 10 points over the Cleveland Browns. Eric Metcalf. Big trouble. Great coverage by San Diego. And Junior Seau is there to make the tackle at the 10-yard line. So not even Eric Metcalf on a kickoff return can get the Browns sparked, and usually he can do that. Here's the rookie Seau, who will come into your picture. There he is, 55.
They say he's one of the best athletes on this team. You know, he was named Mr. San Diego basketball in high school. So not only is he a great football player, but an all-around athlete, and too much athlete for Eric Metcalf right there, who once again hesitated. You cannot continue to do that in the National Football League, whether you're running inside or returning kickoffs.
10-yard line for Cleveland. They did have a 90-yard drive in the second quarter that they scored on. They need 10 points to tie this one up. Kozar going long for Slaughter. And for the first time today, Slaughter got some room.
Did you see his reaction after he caught the football? He threw his arms up in the air as if to say, it's about time somebody threw me the football around here, because Webster Slaughter is a very upset young man that he's not getting his hands on the football. You see him go right by Sam Seal there. Webster Slaughter, as he has done so many times for these Cleveland Browns, comes up with the clutch play when they had to have one.
40 yards on the pass play from Kozar to Slaughter at midfield. First down, Cleveland. Metcalf on an ad-lib play. Down to the San Diego 42-yard line. A scrambling Kozar we saw there.
Let's watch Eric Metcalf from the end zone. Keep your eye on him, number 21. Bernie Kozar is going to roll out to the right. What they had set up was a hesitate and go to Webster Slaughter, but they did a nice job defending that. And right here, That's where you want Eric Metcalf, in the open field with his hands on the football. That's when he's effective.
He got around Gary Plummer. Henry Rowland made the tackle. They got 8 yards. 2nd and 2. Metcalf hit deep. And then again. And he is brought down by Bert Grossman. He'll lose a yard on the play. And it will be 3rd down for Cleveland.
We talked to defensive coordinator of the Chargers, Ron Lynn, yesterday, and he said that's what he wanted the Cleveland Browns to do. He wanted them to give Metcalf the ball between the tackles, because what he does is he goes in and stops and hesitates and tries to bounce it outside. And when he does that, the San Diego Chargers are too good of athletes. They're going to catch him.
3rd down, 3. Metcalf lost 1. Langhorne, Slaughter, the wide receivers. Near a 1st down, but an interesting call on 3rd down and 3, down by 10 points.
Well, what happened here, it's 4-down territory. I think the Browns decided they were going to go for it on 4th down regardless. You're going to get a measurement here, but they were willing to run the football twice. They're down 10 points now late in the 4th quarter. No question about it. Even if they don't have this 1st down, which I think they do, they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Bud Carson waiting on the sideline as the chains will go out. 8 minutes and 34 seconds remaining. It was 3rd down and 3, and they gave it to the rookie Leroy Horde.
You betcha.
Quickly to the 10-minute ticker as Cleveland gets the 1st down. Giants winning over Miami. Miami will take their 1st loss. Kansas City has opened up their lead. Washington is opening up their game. And here in Cleveland, the Browns trail San Diego by 10, 24-14. Clock running, 8:19 left in the game. Kozar, Metcalf.
Now they're using him exactly right. You get him out in the open field, and once again, they've got him singled up on Martin Bayless, who's the strong safety. This is exactly what you want. No strong safety in football is going to handle Eric Metcalf in this situation. They've just got to find more ways to get him the football out away from those interior linemen.
It's a 1st down at the San Diego 29. Slaughter and Langhorne are on the same side now at the top of your screen. Leroy Horde is in a slot. Down at the bottom. Metcalf. Finally dragged down by Martin Bayless, but you're starting to get some vintage Metcalf here in the dying moments of this game.
You have to laugh because the Cleveland Browns know what they have to do. They have to get him the football in all kinds of strange ways. They create almost a reverse in the backfield and give this young man some running room, and he'll make anybody look bad.
They're at the 21-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 2 as Metcalf picked up 8. On that play, sending Junior Seau, and Leroy Horde was lucky to get the handoff. That's how many Chargers were in the backfield, and the tackle is made by Gary Plummer, and it will be 3rd down and 3 for Cleveland.
This is what Leslie O'Neal was talking about yesterday. He said we have been in situations where we've had opportunities to win football games, and we've blown it in the 4th quarter. Right now, the Cleveland Browns offense going right down the field. But right now, the biggest play of the game. We've got a 3rd and 3 again. Let's see if the Browns go ahead and go for it on 4th down and run it twice like they did the previous time.
Well, maybe they won't even have to go to 4th down on 3rd and 3 at the 22. The Chargers were coming across, but then Cleveland moved on the left side of the line. It was Ben Jefferson moving. But the Chargers were across too.
What a big call this is. This could really go either way. But I would think that Ben Jefferson definitely jumped out of his stance.
62 offense. Good day.
So instead of 3rd and 3, it's 3rd and 8.
Probably the toughest thing there is in football, to try and sit there when you see somebody getting ready to pop you in the nose and not flinch. All that offensive lineman has to do is flinch. You're going to see Ben Jefferson, he just stood up. He tried not to get hit in the mouth, but that's a penalty.
Boy, the Browns have seen a lot of flags go down on their part today. 10 penalties, 50 yards, half a field. And now 3rd down and 8 with 6:10 left. And they trail by 10. A sidearm toss to Slaughter. The crowd wants pass interference. No flag.
And Bernie Kosar on his back once again. Let's check out this play, see if we've got any pass interference or not. Webster Slaughter certainly thinks there is. Sam Seal covering him. Maybe the biggest play of the ball game right now. No, sir. No pass interference there. If anything, Webster Slaughter pushed off a little bit.
They are going for it now on 4th down and 8 at the 27. They are not going to go to the place kicker court, but Carson wants the touchdown now.
What a decision this is. You need a touchdown and a field goal regardless. They're going to try and get their touchdown right now, but they're going to call a timeout first.
So Kosar came up to the line of scrimmage, and maybe they will rethink the decision. We'll be back to see what they do on 4th down and 8 with 6:01 left. Here's your situation. Cleveland down by 10 with the ball. 6:01 left. They need 10 points to tie it. It's 4th down and 8. They are opting not to kick a field goal. They're going to go for the first down.
I think this is a mistake. I would kick the field goal.
Kosar throws across the middle to Langhorn, and Martin Bayless broke it up.
Oh, my. I mean, Martin Bayless was all over Reggie Langhorn on that play. Whew. This is a tough call. This is a tough call right here. Watch Reggie Langhorn right in the middle of your screen. That's pass interference. Now, I'm sorry, that's pass interference. You can't do that. You can go for the football, but you can't attack the guy before it gets there. That's pass interference. That should have been first down.
But on a call like that, that's no instant replay. Marion Butts. The Browns will try and strip the ball of Butts now. Al Bubba Baker was the first on the scene there. David Grayson helps out. And now the clock becomes a big problem for Cleveland. They have 2 timeouts left, 5:40, and it's running left in the game, and they trailed by 10.
Now you've got a situation by deciding not to kick the field goal that you still have to score twice. In that situation, if they go ahead and take the 3 points, now they're 7 points down, and one score ties the ball game. They get a chance to go into overtime. Almost no chance now to score twice, especially when you've got a big Marion Butts in the backfield who you know is going to get the football right here.
2nd down and 10. It's Butts again, and it's Michael Dean Perry. Who else takes the tackle? And it will be 3rd down now with under 5 minutes remaining. 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Let's take a check on the progress of this ball game, how it unfolded for us this afternoon here in Cleveland. Chargers a field goal, the Browns with an interception for a touchdown. Both teams with touchdowns in the 2nd quarter, and Cleveland led by 4, but it's been all San Diego in the 2nd half with 2 touchdowns, and they lead by 10, 24-14.
Interesting call here. Do you try and throw the football in this situation? I don't think so.
It's 3rd and 8. They do throw the football, and it is incomplete. So San Diego will punt, plus they stop the clock with 4:17 remaining. Darren Nelson was the intended receiver. Even if he made the catch, they would have been short of the first down.
But Billy Joe Tolliver did the right thing there. He threw it out in front of Darren Nelson on that play, and if he didn't catch it, no one would. So at least a good throw and a good decision by a maturing quarterback in Billy Joe Tolliver.
Here's Leo Lewis set to take the punt back. John Kidd.
Watch the pressure.
They came after Kidd. Lewis with a fair catch. And he handles it at the 30-yard line. And that's where Cleveland will go to work after a 41-yard punt by John Kidd. We'll see if Kozar can rally the Browns after this. Jim Donovan and Cris Collingsworth at Cleveland Stadium. Sunday number 3 of the 1990 season. The Browns need a big rally. They're down by 10 points. A screen for the rookie Hoyle, and good blocking in front of him. Boy, he's a good-looking back, Chris.
Let me tell you something. You put Kevin Mack and Leroy Hoard in the same backfield, it's going to remind you an awful lot of the days of Mack and Biner around here in Cleveland Stadium. Very, very impressive young man. They're going to the spread offense now. And remember, this is what the San Diego Chargers thought they could attack.
First down. Kozar steps up. Looking for Brennan. Down at the 20-yard line, and it was knocked away. So it will be second down.
Good protection, though, by the Browns' offensive line. Bernie had time to throw right there. They've got to make it happen in a big hurry right now. They really do. Even if they score, there's 3:34 left. They would almost have to recover an onside kick to have any chance whatsoever. See, here's the situation, though. If they had taken the field goal before, then they would have been in a situation where this would have been for the tying touchdown.
Second and 10. Ball at the 47-yard line. Kozar has the time, but for the first time today, he has one batted down. Knocked down by Bert Grossman. Now the Charger defense, Chris, as great as it is, Leslie O'Neal told us last night that still they must prove that they have to hold on in the late going.
Well, what their goal is to not give up a 15-yard run or a 30-yard pass play. Webster Slaughter caught one big one on them, but for the most part, they've been very effective this afternoon.
Now it's 3rd and 10. Langhorn on a low ball thrown by Kozar, cannot come up with it at the 44. And it's 4th down, and there's no decision now. You have to go.
Well, here's your ball game. And if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, maybe your season. Because let's face it, right now, the Browns are looking at 1-2 and a schedule that's very tough after this. Bud Carson, I know, had to feel that he was going to be 3-0 after those first 3 games.
But they slipped last week against the Jets, and they are in trouble against the Chargers. It's 4th and 10.
Here's your season.
That's going to be picked off. Joe Fuller picks it off for San Diego and goes down to the ground at the 39-yard line. San Diego is going to win their first game of the season, and Kozar and the Browns are going to scratch their heads and wonder how they can finally get some points.
This could be a long, long year for the Cleveland Browns. Right now, offensively, they simply are not very good. They've scored 3 touchdowns. Bernie Kozar got protection today, I will have to say. He was sacked 3 times, hit 7 times, hurried twice, and threw 3 big interceptions. This offense needs to find some answers.
3 minutes and 15 seconds left. Bucks and Gash up to make the tackle on him. Now we've got some final scores to check in on as we go to the 10-minute ticker. The Giants win. They're undefeated. Miami's first loss. Kansas City, after a terrible loss, heartbreaking loss up in Denver, they win today. And the Bears go to 3-0, beating Minnesota. Cincinnati is going to win, and Washington should. New Orleans is going to win for the first time this year, 28-7 over Phoenix. It's a final score and they win. And Houston is winning. San Diego by 10 here in Cleveland, 24-14. Oh, look at him just push on the pack and get extra yardage out to the 45-yard line.
Looks like the Browns are going to call a timeout. But a little bit too little, too late. Marion Butts has made this man a nervous wreck all day. The big fullback has had another outstanding afternoon. Really reminds me a little bit of a John Riggins with the Washington Redskins. Of course, Bobby Beathard put together that football team, and you've got to feel that that was his plan with Marion Butts, a kid that ran the ball sparingly in college, but is becoming quite a pro.
So Felix Wright down injured right now for the Browns. All right, Wright is okay. Tomorrow night you can become a millionaire. Pick up an NBC McMillions game card at your nearest McDonald's. Watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and if your number matches the numbers revealed during the show, you can become a millionaire. So watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Monday for the kickoff of McMillions on NBC. Marion Butts has 75.
Field was 77 degrees, and the low this morning was 64.
As a matter of fact, he was on the bench for a long time in the second quarter. But here in the second half, he's been tough. Bud Carson looking out with 2:19 left. And Butts goes out to the 49-yard line.
The ball carrier. The tackle by Robert Banks.
Marion Butts just grinding it out right now, making this Cleveland defense pay for what's going on.
2 minutes left to go in the game.
There will be a slow warming trend into midweek as the low aloft.
And we'll be back to Cleveland Stadium right after this timeout.
Thank you for your support.
On the San Diego Chargers bench, there he is on the new general manager of the Chargers, Bobby Beathard, as he's got the blonde silver hair.
I really like what they're doing with this organization. This team looks like an NFC team right now. They're playing with great defense, a power running back, and a short ball control type passing game, and a great wide receiver in Anthony Miller. They really got it going with this organization.
2 minutes to go, and more of Marion Butts. Down to the Cleveland 44-yard line. Michael Dean Terry and Eddie Johnson on the coverage for Cleveland. Running the football. San Diego wanted to do that. Actually, we thought both teams wanted to do it. Cleveland said they wanted to establish more of a running game.
You don't even need to see the score. Really, you don't. If you look down at the screen and you see Cleveland 44 yards rushing, that's enough said. You know they've lost the football game. No question about it.
The Browns have only one timeout left with 1:20 remaining. Here's Butts again, and he gets up near the 40-yard line. Close to a first down. Cleveland travels to Kansas City next week to take on Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs, who will come into that game at 2-1 as they won today against Green Bay. Dan Henning about to get the Chargers to a win, and Bud Carson ready to go to Kansas City. That won't be easy.
Jimmy, I think the big question right now is how bad are the Cleveland Browns? Offensively, 3 touchdowns in 3 games. You're not going to win very much in the National Football League that way.
Marion Butts is tackled right at the line of scrimmage on 3rd down and short.
Eddie Johnson.
San Diego, you know, when you're constructing a team and when you look at the way their games have gone, defensively, they have been there. They have not given up that many points, as that unit will proudly watch the final 48 seconds of this game. But look at that. They've held their opponents to 20 points or less in 15 of their last 17 games, which you would say, normally, you win a lot of games.
And finally, this offense is starting to do something in the second half. Today with 14 second half points. And you've got to think that if Billy Joe Tolliver in that offense with Marion Butts and Anthony Miller can just play middle-of-the-road football in the National Football League, that the Chargers may not only be a team of the future, but they could contend this year.
"35 seconds left.
Coach's favorite formation in the world right here.
Winning formation for the Chargers. And the Browns cannot stop it. They are out of timeouts, and that is it here in Cleveland.
And the Boo Birds come out, something you don't hear very often here in Cleveland Stadium.
Dan Henning with a wave to the Cleveland sideline to Bud Carson. And it is over. San Diego beats the Cleveland Browns 24-14. The Chargers win their first game of the year. The Cleveland Browns have lost 2 in a row to the Jets last weekend and the Meadowlands and to the Chargers today. And we'll be back to wrap it up right after this. Well, there it is, your final picture here at Cleveland Stadium. It was a sellout crowd when we started. Cleveland loses 24-14 to San Diego. A rare home loss for the Browns, who are very, very tough in this building. But the problems remained the same today. They just couldn't score any points. San Diego stayed close with them, and San Diego, also a team that struggled scoring points, especially in the second half, ended up scoring twice in the second half today. They were assisted once by an interception by Henry Rolling that took the ball all the way down to the Cleveland 2, and then they banged it in after that and ended up winning by 10, 24-14. The Browns could not run the football here today. San Diego did not run the football in the first half. They opted to throw a great deal, which put them in a lot of trouble because Mike Johnson picked off Billy Joe Tolliver, and Johnson took it 64 yards for a touchdown. But then once they got into their game plan, Chris, and started giving it to Marion Butts, not until the second half, that seemed to open things up.
Yeah, it really did. And offensively, the San Diego Chargers are getting better. But let's give credit to that defense. Ron Lynn came here in 1986. In 1985, they were the 28th defensive team in the National Football League. Last year, they were 6th. And I think they're going to be even better than that this year.
As for the Browns defensively, played pretty well once again, as the only problem they had, though, was a recurring problem of jumping offside. They did jump offside a number of times in big situations that helped the Chargers along their way. It seemed at times that San Diego wanted to shoot themselves in the foot, but Cleveland would always come up with that big defensive penalty, specifically offside.
Really an incredible stat, though. You're never going to win in the National Football League without scoring touchdowns. Right now, the Browns offense has 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns in 3 games. Their defense has 2. Their special teams have 1. And it's going to be a long year for the Cleveland Browns unless they come up with some kind of an answer. You know, they've had 5 offensive coordinators in the last 6 years, Lindy and Fonte being the only man being able to hang around here for 2 years. And I don't know, that lack of continuity may have something to do with the offensive problems of the Cleveland Browns.
But they'll try and do it by holding serve with their defense and try and straighten out their offensive problems. There were signs here today, namely Eric Metcalf in the fourth quarter on a good drive when they were trying to get back and tie the ball game up, showed some good spurts in the game. And also they did hit Webster Slaughter on 1 big pass, but normally Kozar and Slaughter are connecting an awful lot on big plays. 1 big play just didn't get it done.
Yeah, and a lot of attention being paid to the Cleveland Browns offensive line. They didn't play that poorly today. They didn't play a great football game, but it wasn't that bad.
All right, this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Browns is prohibited. That's it from Cleveland.